Hi everyone, it's me Jinyo, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to react to another video made by Gigguk called When an Anime Leaves You Speechless 2. Because he already made one of these, which we haven't watched yet, but we might watch it next week.
Search up great anime moments in Google, and I swear you'll see the same 20 iconic scenes on every list. Goku goes Super Saiyan, Gear 5, Erwin's speech. These are all iconic moments that became
Goku going Super Saiyan is the best one. I don't care what you're saying. Call me biased, I don't freaking care. Goku going Super Saiyan is the best moment. At the very least, the best moment from all the Shonen Jump animes out there. But I would argue it's the best moment in all of anime.
iconic for a reason. But sometimes there are moments in anime that have stuck with me that might not exactly tick all the boxes for what people count as iconic. Scenes that I rarely see talked about, yet for one reason or another, I cannot forget. And about 2 years ago, I made a video talking about a collection of such scenes, but that was a longer video and I had so much more I wanted to still talk about, so here I am with another one. Are these necessarily the most
We're gonna
iconic,
watch his
the
first
most
video
famous,
too.
or maybe even the most talked about scenes from their respective shows? No. Is this video just my excuse to talk about a bunch of anime I love but don't have enough to say to make a full video? Maybe, but just let me have this one, okay? Look, here's Songjin Woo. He has Aura. Ooh.
Confession time. I have not watched Solo Leveling yet, but I will start probably next week. Probably next week I will start with the very first episode and the very first season. Everyone is talking about it. I need to see if the hype is real or if people are just delusional. We'll find out. I'll give you a first impression, hopefully.
Arise! There, I talked about Solo Leveling. Again, I'm obviously going to be spoiling the scenes I talk about, so I'll be sure to mention the exact show and episode before I talk about them. But you can also be a degenerate like me and decide to watch some shows based on some out-of-context scene you discover on YouTube Shorts. But this is going to be way better than that, I swear. You're not even going to need the Secret Grindset song in the background to watch them. So before we get to the first scene, I wanted to give a quick shout out to today's sponsor, ROG. Guys, do you count yourself as a true gamer but don't want to compromise while you're gaming on the go? Well, ROG have got you covered with the release of their newest gaming tablet, the ROG Flow Z13. Now I know what you're thinking, Gigguk, did I hear you right? A gaming tablet? Yes, you heard me.
It's quite small.
This thing is an absolute beast. With its AMD Ryzen AI Max Plus 395 processor offering performance akin to a dedicated GPU, up to 128GB of RAM, and the ability to allocate up to 96GB of VRAM, it is the most powerful gaming tablet and the ultimate portable workstation. Its large 2.5K touchscreen with high refresh rate offers unparalleled detail and immersion, whether you're viewing the panel indoors or outdoors. And it's up to 10 hours of battery life, and it's just 13 inches. This baby is way more portable than most traditional laptops. Remember boys, it's not always about the size. It's about how many frames you can get out of this baby. And look, you can even detach the keyboard if you're looking for more space. And the thing I'm most excited about, it's got every port that you could possibly need. It's got HDMI, 2 USB-Cs, a standard USB, a micro SD, and even a headphone jack. What has the world come to that I'm genuinely excited to see headphone jacks again?
Depending
the world
on the price,
is finally healing. I can honestly say that with the size and portability of this is about to become my new casual workstation I take with me everywhere. I did not think that you could fit this much power into a tablet. So, what are you waiting for? Click that link in the description to check out the ROG Flow Z13 today. Thank you very much to ROG for sponsoring us today. And with that said, back to the video.
Number 5.
Anime flashbacks. Love them or hate them, you're going to see them. A lot of them. They come in all shapes and every genre of anime you can think of, and it is hard to just pick. As
I mentioned the other day, I read the end of Naruto Shippuden in the manga. Because the anime made me. The anime fillers and flashbacks made me. They pissed me off so much, I turned into a manga reader.
One to talk about. So I'm just going to pick one that left a lasting impression on me while capturing everything the series is about. The ice skating scene from Death Parade, episode 11. An elevator opens. Sorry. No! A lift opens and you emerge into a bar with another person. You have no memory of how you got there, what you were doing before, or where you are now. A well-dressed gentleman greets you and tells you, so, 2 dead people walk into a bar. Okay, and?
Wait, are they dead?
What's the joke?
I haven't watched the show. I haven't watched the anime.
You're then told you have to play a series of games with your life on the line. No Squid Game. And as you do, visions, memories slowly emerge, stopping you in your tracks as you begin to realize that you are dead. Everything you know is gone, and all these fun games you're playing will...
Fuck, I'm starting to regret watching this video because this sounds like an awesome show, and I might have ruined the show for me now. Oh no. Okay, let's do it.
determine whether your soul is going to heaven or hell, and then it hits you. What is this? Some kind of death parade? Everybody, put your hands up! Death Parade was a series that'll give you more existential dread than 5 minutes on the shitter with an out-of-battery phone. A show that truly put the die in Daijobu, where a bunch of smarmy bartenders get to decide whether your soul is worth going through eternal damnation because you can't hit a single triple 20 in.
This reminds me a little bit of a game that I played like 10 years ago called Catherine. On the PS3. It's a puzzle game, but it's also like a drama anime where you have to decide whether you want to cheat on your girlfriend or not. It deals with moral dilemmas and guilt and regret and stuff like that. So if you haven't played it already, you should. I think you can pick it up on PC now as well.
In darts. And this is the game you'll be playing today.
Oh no.
I'm already in hell, aren't I? Yep. But there's one person who seems like an anomaly for the entire series, who, unlike the rest of the staff, seems oddly human. She questions the whole process, brings doubt into every judgment, and pretty soon you figure out that she's not like the rest of them. But then the question lingers throughout. Who is she? Where did she come from? Where did she go? Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe? The series holds and holds right up until episode 11, where it finally pulls the trigger, revealing her backstory in a manner that has stuck with me to this day. One scene, one track, no dialogue, just a single beautiful performance. The song starts and you think, ah, my personal favorite genre of music. Emotional damage. Through this ice skating scene, we are told everything we would ever need to know. A story of a simple girl who fell in love with a sport, intertwined with a simply spellbinding performance.
No spoiler, but in Dandadan episode 6 or 7, there's a similar scene, which has barely any dialogue. It has like five words tops, and it's like a 3-minute-ish scene, which is just so heart-wrenching, and that definitely stuck with me.
It's just beautiful. I think what I love about the scene is the symphony of conflicting emotions that come with it. The happiness, the melancholy, the fulfilling sense of emptiness, all working in tandem with this hauntingly beautiful track. Through 5 minutes, this one scene captures what 10 episodes of Death Parade had done previously without uttering a single word. And as you get more and more absorbed with her performance, you can't help but fight this feeling of dread. You know where she is. You know what the show is about. The dread lingers and lingers, building up to the climax of her performance, of her story, of her entire life, until, eventually, it all comes crashing down.
Okay, wait. She broke her knee? How did that end up killing her? Or was the knee just a way for the doctors to see that there was something else wrong with her? Because that's usually what happens, right? You get into the hospital because you have pain in your knees, and then you find out, oh shit, it's a tumor. It's either that, or she went to a very, very dark place because she couldn't continue her career as an ice skater anymore. Both options suck. I don't want to find out. Or maybe I do. You can spoil me in the comments.
One's really going to split the age demographic of this video. Our childhood years are some of the most formative years of our lives, and there have been moments in anime that have formed a collective core memory for the generation of kids watching them. The pure shock as Pikachu cried while Ash turned into stone. The excitement seeing Yugi using Exodia against Kaiba. The one scene that brings that wave of nostalgia while still fully holding up no matter how much older I get is Omnimon's transformation.
Hey, that's from the Digimon movie. I watched that one.
Set the stage for this. The year is 2000.
It's been 1 week since you looked at me.
It's the turn of the millennium. People are freaking out over Y2K, and about 40% of you watching this right now have not even been born yet. Jesus Christ. The mainline TV series is over, the world has been saved, and our protagonist's journey have come to an end. But then, out of nowhere, comes a sequel movie directed by Mamoru Hosoda, who would go on to become one of the most critically acclaimed directors anime has ever seen.
Oh,
yeah, can you say that,
that,
Pokemon kids? I don't know why I'm still trying to fight this fight. We had no hope in hell.
Get over it. Okay.
It's very good to know that Gigguk was also one of the kids who liked Digimon. I mean, I told that story many times before. I was one of the kids who liked both. I preferred the Pokemon games, but I preferred the Digimon anime. I think Digimon anime was just peak. Their games were in an identity crisis. Sometimes there were Tamagotchi games, sometimes there were like pure RPG games, sometimes there were even fighting games. So the mainline Digimon games always had like an identity crisis, whereas Pokemon basically stayed the same for 40 years. But I stopped watching the Pokemon anime after like season 2, whereas I continued watching Digimon like in my until my like teens and whatnot.
Movie was far too good for any kid to truly appreciate, and looking back, I swear it's the most millennial coded shit anime has ever seen. Hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on, go. This is a real scene in the movie. I am not joking.
He's tone deaf.
So here, when a brand new super evil villain appears, most of the OG team is busy, save for these four, and also Sora. But she didn't want to contribute, because being useful would be out of character for her.
Stupid tie.
Enter Dioboromon, a Digimon computer virus hybrid. Since McAfeemon and Nortonmon weren't installed and people didn't know any better than to open files in an email from a Nigerian prince, Dioboromon starts fucking everyone up.
For anyone who never knew the origin of the name Digimon, it's digital monsters, right? It's data, basically. That's why they're also called... One of the seasons was called Data Squad. So it's just people using files, basically, to save the world. And most evil Pokemon are virus types. They're viruses. So it's basically like an antivirus program running. That's Digimon.
And I mean everyone. Nothing with an internet connection is safe. The phones are dead. He's launched some nukes and nobody can seemingly stop him. He destroys the two heroes' most powerful Digimon, leaving them closer to death than you'd ever seen as a kid. And to add insult to injury, he's made over 1 million copies of himself when our heroes could barely manage to make it out alive when there was just one of him. My brain could not comprehend how they were going to get out of this situation. There was no hope.
DNA fusion.
Were no more options. And that's when this happens. Wait, they're combining? They're fucking combining!
Part War Greymon.
Part Metal Garurumon.
They digivolve together to become
Omnimon!
Look, I'm pretty sure there is something coded into every young boy's DNA to find the concept of 2 or more things combining to make even bigger, more powerful thing the most exciting thing ever. So imagine how it was as a kid.
That is so true if you think about it. All the scenes that he just showed, every show has kind of like a fusion thingy. DNA fusions, you have the blue-eyed white dragon fusions in Yu-Gi-Oh! And then obviously the best one.
More powerful thing, the most
fusion
exciting
in Dragon
thing
Ball.
ever. So imagine how it was as a kid to see the 2 most iconic Digimon coming together to make an even cooler one, whilst an epic orchestral version of the theme song plays in the background. Then right after, he parries 1 million attacks while Scar music starts playing as Omnimon starts deleting all the enemies on screen while shouting the sickest attack names ever.
Transcendent Sword! Supreme Cannon!
I remember back then, a girl, an actual girl, gave me a completely unprompted, genuine compliment. And this shit was still my highlight of that year. This, right here, seeing the explosions fill up the screen, Omnimon cemented himself as being the coolest thing I'd ever seen. Finishing things off with the hypest attack battle cry in this entire movie, which somehow isn't Transcendent Sword or Supreme Cannon. It's fucking Izzy shouting,
You Got Mail!
Connection terminated.
if the cultural significance of that is lost on you, it's like watching fucking Gojo gearing up for the killing blow, but then coldly saying some shit like, skibidi toilet, and somehow making that moment hit. Digimon the movie was an absolute fucking
That is
enigma
so
for a
true.
kid's movie. It was so bloody good that Mamoru Hosoda would need to remake it again. Twice.
Summer was. In Pokemon's defense, the first 2 seasons of Pokemon were kind of great, and also the very first Pokemon movie which was about Mewtwo and Mew. That one was pretty hype as well. They gave away promo cards, like Pokemon cards for that movie. Pretty sure I had one. Pretty sure I also had a Charizard, which now goes for like $50 gazillion. I hate myself for throwing all the cool shit away from the 90s and early 2000s. Could have made thousands of dollars with it today.
When we think anime action scenes, 90% of the time we think fights. Hand-to-hand combat, sword fighting, ridiculous anime superpowers where they give a fighter some, I don't know, corrosive breast milk they fire using hair shaped like hands to squeeze down on their chest. That's a real power.
Somebody needs to tell me what this power is from, because I need to make some, research. Let's move on.
Real power. And yet the average Baki fan would call that normal. In terms of anime fights, there are too many examples to count of moments that have taken my breath away, but what we don't see too often in anime is getting down and dirty with some more gritty action. I'm talking John Wick, Die Hard, old school 80s action movies, and in that vein, no singular moment of action has sold me faster on a show than the Apache helicopter standoff from Black Lagoon, Episode 2. Black Lagoon is an anime I don't hear too many people talk about nowadays, and I realize that's because it is now as old to modern day anime coming out today as the original Dragon Ball is to when Black Lagoon first started airing. This was the no bullshit action show, following the lives of modern day pirates living in a place where the average resident wakes up to a city in tatters, having to spend every single day fighting for their lives because PvP is permanently turned on.
Ah, fucking fuck.
I think I know a bloke who lived there
badass,
once. If you like John Wick, well, imagine a world where there are dozens of them, except they are all crazy hot anime girls with enough screws loose to assemble a fucking IKEA dining table. And was absolute crack to my teenage brain. I'm pretty sure this show single-handedly ruined my taste in women before my prefrontal cortex had fully developed, and I have never recovered since. It's in your face, politically incorrect, pushing your sense of disbelief to its limits with enough explosions to finish up a Michael Bay Goonie sesh. If the rule...
So weird, because I know some of the characters of the show, but I never watched Black Lagoon. You have to understand that when I was growing up, anime was not... Like, I grew up in Germany, I still live in Germany, I'm German. Anime wasn't that available apart from, like, the major shows. Like, Dragon Ball obviously was here, Digimon was here, Pokemon was here. But when it came to all these, I would say, like, other success shows like Black Lagoon or even something like Bleach that a lot of people have watched, you'd have to go to the internet, to some corners of the internet, because the internet wasn't as... there weren't a million websites you can get animes from. You had to find it somehow. And the way I did it, for example, the way I found new types of anime from Japan was through an illegal torrent software called like BearShare. And with BearShare, you could type in, for example, Dragon Ball GT, Japanese dub with English subtitles. And then you would have to download the episode, sometimes overnight, because the internet was shitty back then. And if you were lucky, you actually got the episode you were looking for, because sometimes they labeled the show that you wanted to watch like Dragon Ball GT episode 8, right? And then you clicked on it, and it turned out to be corn. That happened so many times with me. That is probably my pipeline to corn as a teenager. It was me trying to watch anime.
Full of Cool was a series, this was it, and it only took 2 episodes for one scene to let you know exactly what kind of ride you were about to get on. Let me set the scene. It's episode 2. Our crew is on the run from a bloody attack helicopter and they are pinned down inside of a mangrove. It's a dead end. They've got nowhere else to run. Armed with a simple ship with no anti-air capabilities and the prospect of having to go face to face with a helicopter with enough firepower to become part of NATO, things are looking dicey. That is, until the newest crew member comes up with a suggestion proving that somehow, in a city with mercenaries, gangster leaders, shotgun nuns, and a bloody man from Florida, no one is more insane than a repressed Japanese salaryman with nothing to lose.
This boat's armaments and speed, that sunken ship we passed, I'm pretty sure we have everything we need. I say we go face to face with these guys.
Are you retarded?
The boat sets off, and you start thinking, no, surely, they wouldn't, right? At this point, your posture changes from this to this.
You're about to get fucked, baby!
The anticipation continues to build. The adrenaline starts pumping as the boat gets closer and closer. You hear,
300 feet to go.
No way this is happening. Nah, no way.
150.
Holy shit, they're doing it. They're actually fucking doing it.
100.
Is this
So it's-
really happening?
So it's like Rambo and Top Gun in one anime show.
And that is how to sell me on a show.
It's me, Austin. Oh, son of a bitch.
How
Yu-Gi-Oh?
do you introduce a villain? Well, anime has taught us that you have many options. Aura, dropping them in the moment you least expect it. Aura, having them solo an entire army of people by themselves. Aura, give them the most badass theme song you can think of. Aura. Oh, and how can I forget? Aura. But the one introduction I will never forget is Shogo Makishima's from Psycho Pass Episode 11. Alright, so
watched that
technically
one
this isn't
either.
the first time we see him, but this is the first time we get to see what he's all about, and this scene alone catapults him into the Hall of Fame of greatest anime villains by completely breaking the world of Psycho Pass. This series is all about the Sybil system, a supercomputer that is able to analyze people's psychological aptitude that determines every major decision a person can do, where they go to school, what jobs they can get, and that includes how likely someone is to commit a crime in the form of their crime coefficient, which the police can conveniently measure using their specialized guns. A low score indicates a healthy, law-abiding individual where the gun will be locked unable to shoot, while a high crime coefficient is what the average person feels when they forget they have a water bottle while walking past TSA. And depending on how high it is, this can unlock the gun from stun to lethal force. The important thing to note is that things can happen that can spontaneously increase someone's crime coefficient, like going through a traumatic event or hitting the go live button on Kick. Enter Shogo Makishima, an infamous criminal that seems to be the binding link
The
across
little
every case
jabs
we've seen
he
in the
has, the
series
little
thus
jokes.
far. And most recently, he sent the police
They
on a
timed
wild
so
goose
well.
chase by kidnapping the best friend of our main protagonist, Akane. That is, until Akane catches up to him, leading to this standoff. Okay. Pause. As soon as the scene started, you knew something was about to go down. You got the stakes. A psycho mass murderer carrying a shotgun with the best friend of a righteous cop who had put her trust into the system she represents, who is also armed. Both within line of sight without being able to reach each other. This setup didn't have a Chekhov's gun. It was a full-on bloody firing squad. Because up till now, nothing had truly happened to Rattle Akane, but this time felt different. You're not sure what, but something is going to go wrong. And as you watch the scene unfold, it induces so much squeaky bum tension, my farts would have sounded like Mariah Carey hitting her highest kettle notes. The first alarm bells start ringing when Akane points the Dominator at him and horrifyingly finds out that Makishima is normal. Even while actively committing a crime, while torturing her friend, his mind is so
What the
inconceivably
fuck?
twisted that he sees himself as doing nothing wrong. And Sybil agrees. She physically cannot take the shot. This is when Makishima offers her an out. He throws her the old-fashioned shotgun and steps out into the open, taunting her to take a shot, ignore the system, and make the choice to kill. Murder someone herself, and at this point I'm thinking, okay, so he's like gonna bait her into shooting. She accidentally kills her friend, leaving her with a guilty conscience, messing up her psychopath, and then... And that's the moment you get the sinking realization that what he wants to do is so much worse. What makes this scene truly terrifying is how it's able to portray the feeling of being completely helpless. As utterly desperate as Akane is to stop him, she's been conditioned to trust in a system that refuses to listen to her in her biggest time of need. And she can do nothing but witness the horror unfold in front of her eyes. Here is a character that can make you feel completely powerless, not because he has a high power level or he just beat up one of the strongest characters in the show, but by his sheer existence in this world. Akane continues to frantically point her gun at him, yet his crime coefficient keeps ticking down, lower and lower, almost as if it's a countdown to the inevitable. She pleads with him, her friend begs for her life, but there is absolutely nothing they can do. Ending things off with one of the most chilling things you can hear in this universe.
犯罪係数0
And the only thing left is for Makishima to leave his mark as one of the greatest anime villains to ever grace our screens.
Oh shit, you killed her? I was so
In short,
immersed.
Aura.
God damn.
Great writing, insane plot twists, interesting characters, all noise distracting you from the one thing that truly matters. Vibes. There are moments in anime that leave an imprint on me because, simply, the vibe was immaculate. A culmination of the aesthetic, the music, the mood, the atmosphere, all coming together to form an experience that sticks with you, even if you don't fully understand why. And no scene encapsulates this more perfectly than the motorbike scene from Terror in Resonance, Episode 4. Shinichiro Watanabe is no stranger to vibes. Kids on the Slope has my favorite music performers of all time. Cowboy Bebop was iconic in just about every.
I had the same feeling with Dragon Ball Daima because Dragon Ball Daima basically rekindled that spark I had for Dragon Ball growing up, like this adventurous, happy, but also a little bit of a dangerous journey that Goku embarks on. That was definitely a vibe that was missing from Dragon Ball Super, and that was the reason why I always said Dragon Ball Super doesn't really feel right to me. There's like something missing, and it turns out the thing that was missing was that the Toriyama ingredient, that fun and also dangerous but adventurous journey, and that was definitely a vibe that I felt with Daima again. I felt like a child again with Daima for 20 episodes, and then I went back into my depressive adult life. No, but that was like, vibes are very important. He's right.
Every single aspect. Samurai Champloo helped popularize an entire genre of music that is still a part of pop culture today. If there was
Even
a CEO
Lo-Fi
of
Girl?
vibes, this man would be it. And yet I still think the unique atmosphere he crafted in Terror in Resonance remains unmatched. This series, in my opinion, has the best soundtrack in anime, bar none. Every track is a chilling experience that pierces the soul. Icelandic songs that can soothe the flames of hell, and he puts it with an anime about blowing up buildings and setting the world on fire. Never before has destruction been so serene, chaos so calming. It is goddamn beautiful. Was the writing perfect? No. Was it the cleanest execution in the world? No. But there are scenes in this anime that invoke feelings I have yet to experience again to this day, and maybe never will. The final climax, the Ferris wheel scene, and of course, this one. At this point, the main plotline of the episode has just been resolved. Our protagonists have sent the police into a frenzy by dropping a virtual bombshell on the world. No buildings are getting blown up today. The commotion is over. Everyone is given a brief moment to breathe. And then you hear this.
Someone tell me how I got here.
The song starts as the motorbike glides through the dazzling city lights. The girl, still fearful, gripping for her life, decides to open her eyes, and what she is greeted with is pure sensory poetry.
Spirits flying at the speed of light.
This right here, guys, is it. And I don't even know what it is. The fear, freedom, and beauty of life all captured within a single moment. When she tilts her head and shuts her eyes, what I would give to be at the place she is at for just a second. I think what makes this brief scene one of my favorite in anime is because it so perfectly encapsulates that moment. That moment you get sometimes in your life that feels so perfect, you wish.
Which is unfortunately very rare because our brain is constantly thinking about things that are not really important, but you only understand it once those problems are over, unfortunately. But there are sometimes moments, and I recall having that with Lady Jane, for example, where sometimes just for a brief hour or so, things are good. Things are good. You don't think about anything. I think it's like your brain detaching from all this shit that is actually not very important for survival. Like, you thinking about your problems all the time is not important for the brain. And those kinds of moments that get triggered by either your partner or a life event or just the sun coming out, sometimes it's like it's breaking the shackles of the brain, and it's just you're just yourself for a minute. You're free and true self for a minute, but unfortunately those moments don't last long. We cannot shut down our brain all the time, but sometimes it happens, sometimes it works, and those moments are truly beautiful.
You could capture it and make it last an eternity. When, for the first time in forever, everything feels like it's come together, the bullshit noise gets drowned out, every problem you think you have gets washed away, and for that brief period, everything seems to make sense. You have no fears, no worries. You are just in the best place you can possibly be at right now, and you know it. And right then and there, you think to yourself, fuck it. You know what? Everything's gonna be alright.
I hope humanity can get to a point where where that is our default state, where we just are free and don't have to constantly think about some shit going on in the world or in our life or in the life of our loved ones. That unfortunately, once, as I said, we cannot turn the shit off. But sometimes it happens for a brief moment, and those moments are truly, truly beautiful. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know in the comments what your favorite anime moment is that left you speechless. And also tell me why that isn't Goku turning into a Super Saiyan, because I feel like that should be a universal feeling.
Jinyo.